Well, hey guys, Jonathan Dorr with you once again. Welcome back to the Daily Message. As always, please make sure you have subscribed. Really good to be bringing you these every day, so please make sure you've hit that subscribe button. And of course, there is a link here to grab yourself free access to my book, Bridging the Gap. So please go and check out the links here, either in the show notes of the podcast or here on the video versions. So I hope those things are going to be really useful to you. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about focus. It is so easy at this moment in history to apply our attention to things that are going to make us feel worse. One of the examples I've given for many years is about how they train professional race car drivers. So when they're training drivers in all sorts of, collision avoidance, driver safety stuff, one of the things they do is they deliberately put vehicles into an automatic skid. What that skid does is sort of send the driver hurtling towards the wall at full speed. And the hardest thing to teach a race car driver is this: not to look at the wall. Because the minute they begin to focus on the wall, their actual body posture and position begins to move the steering wheel, and they drive the car into exactly the thing they're trying to avoid. So the metaphor here is that how we use our focus in life is going to have a huge impact. So when the metaphorical wall appears in your peripheral vision, now that metaphorical wall can be a relationship problem, a health problem, difficulties in career, all these sorts of things, is we tend to immediately focus all our attention on the negative outcome. We focus all our attention on the thing that we do not want to happen. And paradoxically, it seems to be a law of the universe that we end up sort of dragging ourselves towards the outcome we don't want by giving all our attention and energy to it. So today's quote, which we're just about to jump into, helps us realize the importance of not giving our attention and focus to what we don't want. Now, this isn't a kind of flippant, just avoid negative stuff and don't focus on it and life's going to turn out fine. Of course it won't. There's things that are coming towards us that are difficult that we do need to focus on. We need to be aware of them and proactive. But I think what today's message is about is allowing those things that we don't want in our lives to fill our consciousness so that we somehow paradoxically attract the thing we don't want. Okay? This plays out in so many different ways. Often somebody who's had a bad experience in relationship will be totally focused on never attracting that kind of person again, right? So where's the energy going, right? Rather than focusing on the kind of person they do want, they focus the energy on the kind of relationship they don't want. So it's a pretty simple message. It's just that, the old Tony Robbins idea that where focus goes, energy flows. So where we place our attention and focus is going to shape and impact a fair bit of our experience. But for now, let's jump into today's quote. Let's do it. There is a great difference between resisting evil and renouncing it. When you resist evil, you give it your attention and continue to make it real. When you renounce evil, you take your attention away from it. Now is the time to control your imagination and give your energy to what you want, and give your attention to what you want. The reason I shared that quote is because at the time of recording this, there's so much negative news in the world. There's so many dark, difficult, horrible things happening. It's almost as if we can build our lives around a sensitivity to all of the darkness, right? So whether it's COVID or global conflicts or supply chains or inflation, you're never going to run out of things to absorb your negative attention. Again, I don't mean that we don't pay some attention to them, that we do sensible, proactive things to distance ourselves from the challenges that we face. But what I'm getting at is when these things become overwhelming, when all our energy and attention goes there. So let's wrap all this up. First metaphor is the metaphor of the race car driver. That as difficulties come towards us in life, if we relentlessly focus on all the possible negative permutations of what might happen, we're far more likely to manifest them and create them in our experience. So it's not a frivolousness, it's not a disregard for reality. It's just, okay, reality's happening, there are certain difficulties, but if I'm going to channel all my attention and energy to what could go wrong, I'm basically going to empower the negative circumstance. So as always, it's about realizing we have so much more power than we think we do by directing how we use our thinking process over time. And again, coming back to this Neil Goddard quote, so much of our modern media and social media engine is driven by ensuring that we focus on all the dark stuff in the world. So while we do want to be sensitive to human suffering and do what we reasonably can to ameliorate it, to alleviate it, we also don't have to set up camp in a world of negative outcomes and horrible stuff happening anywhere. So I guess the essence of this message today is to just take some control and power back over where your focus goes on a daily basis. You really do have much more power than you think, all right? So literally, after watching this, as you go through your day, just start to do this constant internal audit. If there's one thing I teach people more than just about anything else, it's notice the content of your thinking. Notice where your thinking is going on a regular basis, because that, if we can control that, there's some extraordinary power in that. Okay, make sure you're subscribed. Check out all the other links here. Book me to speak, coaching, grab free copies of my books. Go do that. It's all there for you. My name's Jonathan Doyle. This has been The Daily Message. God bless you, my friend. We'll do another message tomorrow.